Hello. Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about copy. So there are two forms of copy. We have the shallow copy and the deep copy. So let's start with the shallow copy. So we have our code snippet here, and what we're going to do is draw a memory map image. So let's start off with our call stack. And here we have list 1 is 1, 2, 3. So we create our list, an array, and what I'm going to do is, instead of drawing it down here, I'm going to draw it above, and you'll see why in a few moments. So we have our int 1, int 2, and our int 3. And then we assign this to list 1. Alright, so now with our second line, we have list1.copy. So if you remember from our first video, we assigned list 2 to list 1. This is not a copy, because copy involves creating another object. And so what's actually happening is, when we do list 2 equals list 1, we just copy the reference. But now, with list1.copy, we are creating a new list object with its own array, and we copy the references. So now when we modify list 1 and list 2, if we do list 1 at index 0, we change it to 10. So we create a new int 10. We take our red marker, cross this zone out, and reassign it to 10. And with list 2, we have 30. We take our red marker, cross this one out, and we assign it to 30. So now when we print list 1 and list 2, we get 10, 2, 3, and list 2, we get 1, 2, 30. Okay, so that's the first code snippet. Alright, so now we have our second code snippet, and there's a small difference here, which is at index 2 we have a list object. So let's draw our call stack, and then we have our list object. We have our array. So here we have 1, then we have 2, and then we have another list object with 3 and 4. And then we assign this list to list 1. So now when we create our copy, our shallow copy, we create a new list object, and we copy the references. And then we assign this to list 2. Okay, so now when we make our changes, list 1 at index 0, we change it to 10. So create an int 10. Take our red marker, cross this one out. Now it's 10. Then we say list 2 at index 2. So 0, 1, 2. Index 2 right here. And then index 0. So this value, we change it to 30. So now we have an int 30. We take our red marker, cross out this reference, and now we get point to 30. So now when we print list 1 and list 2, list 1 we see is 10, 2, 30, and 4. And list 2, we have 1, 2, 30, and 4. So you see, it's called a shallow copy because although we are copying, we're creating a new object, we're only copying the references. So we have two different list objects, but the arrays point to the same objects. So at index 2, both list 1 and list 2, they point to this same list over here. So any change through list 1 or list 2 will affect the other, which is why you see we have 30 and 4 for both list 1 and list 2. So instead of a shallow copy, whenever you have a mutable object in your list, you should do a deep copy. So the way to do a deep copy is we have a copy library in Python, and we have a function called deep copy. So let's see what that looks like in memory. And so we create our list object. Actually, let me move this one up. We have our list object. We have our array. And now we have our int 1. We have our int 2. And then we have our list object. Oops. And we have our int 3 and 4. And then we assign this to list 1. And now when we make our copy, our deep copy, like the shallow copy, we have our new list object with its own array. But instead of directly going like this, with the same reference, we're creating another int with 1, 2, and a new list object. And then we assign this to list 2. So now we can clearly see any changes applied to list 1 will not affect list 2, and any changes applied to list 2 will not affect list 1. So if I change the value at index 0 of list 1 to 10, we create 10, take our red marker, cross this one out, and list 2 at index, oh, I forgot a point here, at index 2, this list, and then we have index 0 of that list, we're changing that value to 30. So let's create a new integer, 30, take a red marker, cross this out, and there you go, 30. So now when I print both lists, we get list 1 is 10, 2, 3, and 4. And list 2, we have 1, 2, 30, and 4. Okay? So why don't we go over this and run our code. We get 10, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 30 for the first one. So 10, 2, 3, 1, 2, 30. In our second one, we get 10, 2, 34, and then 1, 2, 34. So 10 to 34, 1 to 34. So those are our shallow copies. And now with our deep copy, we have 10 to 34 and 1 to 34. So 10 to 34 and 1 to 34. So that's the difference between shallow copy and deep copy. And yeah, thank you for watching this video, and yeah, see you in the next video.